Okay guys, so today I wanted to do my little story time, I guess. I don't even know where to start because it's such a long story, so I made myself a little drink, and this is actually X-rated with berry Minute Maid juice, and this is the first time I've actually made this, so let me tell y'all how it tastes. It's bomb. So anyways, let's get right into the story. I told myself I wasn't gonna tear up or anything, so I'm gonna try to avoid like the emotional roller coasters. Okay guys, so let's go back to me being 14 years old. So I don't know about you guys, but when I was 14 years old, my parents were very strict. They didn't really let me do a lot. My dad is very Mexican and traditional. He's very strict. He doesn't think you should have a boyfriend until you're like 30 type of shit, you know what I mean? So growing up was a little bit difficult, especially because I was the middle kid. My sister is, how old is she? She's 4 years older than me, 5 years older than me, and then my brother's 3 years older than me. Is that right? Okay, I'm 21, my brother's 23, my sister's 25. So we're all 2 years apart, so we're like back to back. And Bree, huh? Are you there? Yeah. Don't listen to me.
What? What'd you say?
I said don't listen to me. Oh. So we're all back to back, and I don't know, I just felt like growing up, like everyone's attention was on my sister because she was the oldest, and you know, she was going through her teenage years. She had a boyfriend. Everyone was kind of like, oh my god, Jessica has a boyfriend. And then my brother, he was like a soccer player. He was all about, you know, his sports, and my dad was very proud of his son, so obviously he got a lot of attention. And we at the time, my mom had just had my little sister, which was, I believe she was like 4 or 5 at the time that this happened. So it was a crazy story for the fact that I got pregnant when I lost my virginity, and it was a fucking wreck. It was a wreck. The guy that I was with, I'm gonna call him A because he's non-existent now, at least in my life, okay? I don't communicate with him. I have nothing to do with him. He's out of my life completely. So A and me were together since I was 12 years old, which is whenever I moved over here to the area that I'm in now. I was 12 years old. He was, at the time, I believe he was 14 or 15, because he's 2.5 years older than me. So he was around there. I was 12, he was 14, 15. And we actually met on MySpace, guys. Like, this is why social media scares me so much, because I met this dude on MySpace, and obviously, as a 12-year-old, I never said I was 12 years old. I would sit there and say I was 14, I was 15, I was 16, you know, I would lie. And I remember on my MySpace, I used to have a picture of me and my cousins, and my cousins were obviously older than me, so anytime someone would ask me, which one are you in the picture, I would always say, oh, whoop-de-woo, and that was, you know, my cousin, not even myself. So it was kind of like, I was a fucking catfish. I still fucking am. Till this fucking day, I'm a fucking catfish. So, long story short, after about a year of me talking to him on social media and talking on the phone every night and, you know, little things like that, I was like, you know what? I want to meet him. Whatever. So one day I decided to skip school, and this was in 7th grade. I was 13. I decided to skip school, so I skipped school with him, and we hung out, and I really liked him. Like, he wasn't the most attractive guy, and I'm sorry if he sees this, but he knows. He sees himself every day in the mirror. So, you know, to me, it wasn't even like, oh, I was attracted to his looks. Honestly, I felt like my dad was never really there for me. I grew up kind of by myself. I never really had my dad to be like, I love you, and, you know, give me that father-daughter bond, because he was so caught up with my brother. He was so caught up with my older sister. He was so caught up with making ends meet here. We came from California to Texas, and we came to Texas because my parents couldn't make ends meet in California. So the whole reason we came here was for that. You know, my dad was stressing, my mom was stressing, my mom was pregnant. It was just a lot at once for everybody, and I don't know, I felt like I wasn't important. I felt like I didn't fit into the family. I felt like I had nothing, you know, I had nothing to do with the family. So I decided to go on my own and do my own thing. And, you know, I met friends that were in the same situation as I was, didn't really have, you know, their parents there for them. And I'm not saying my parents weren't there for me, but emotionally they weren't. I went through a lot as a kid. I think I was depressed without knowing it. And in the long run, it helped me realize that I'm the only thing that I got. And I don't mean that in a bad thing, because my family is my one, you know, my number one supporters. They're always there for me. They always help me. I love my siblings. I love my parents. I love all of my family. But at the time, I had the mentality of a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and I was just lost. I was becoming a teenager, and I felt like I needed a little bit of guidance. So this guy came around, and he, you know, made me feel important. He made me feel special. He made me feel like he was gonna be there for me, and he was gonna take care of me, and he was, you know, just gonna be there. And I ended up losing my virginity to him on my 14th birthday, and you know, we kept messing around after that. I finally had the courage to tell my mom, hey mom, you know, me and my mom have always had a good bond. I wouldn't say, I've always told my mom everything. My mom knows me. If she looks at me, she can tell what's wrong with me. Like, she can tell me like, okay, you didn't have a good day, what's wrong? Or what's going on? I could tell that, you know, something's wrong with you. So me and my mom had that bond. She was just always busy. So we never, you know, could sit down and talk unless there was something really big happening. And I remember I came to her and I said, Mom, I'm not a virgin anymore. I lost my virginity. And she freaked out. She said, you know what? We're going to make you an appointment. We're going to go, you know, do what we have to do. Make sure that nothing, you know, you didn't get an STD. Because I told her we didn't use a condom. This wasn't the first time. Like, I lost my virginity. I'm not sure if I got pregnant that first time. But for that whole, like, week, 2 weeks, we were having unprotected sex. Which, it was not, like, I totally did not want to get pregnant. I just feel like we were, like, me, myself, in my head, I was like, wow, like, I'm losing my virginity. This is, you know, this is what it's supposed to be. And to me, like, I always told myself, like, whenever I lose my virginity, it's gonna be very, very special, and it's gonna be very important. And it fucking wasn't. He's a fucking, anyways, long story short, my mom took me to Care Now. They did, you know, the whole little pee test. They did everything to make sure that I didn't have an STD. Nothing was, you know, wrong with me. And the doctor comes back in and he's like, I have good news and I have bad news. And which one do you want to hear first? So my mom's obviously like, tell us the good news first. So he tells us, you know, you don't have an STD. You're good. You know, you just need to be careful and use protection whenever you're gonna have sexual intercourse. And my mom's like, well, what's the bad news then? And I had an idea due to the fact that he told me, you know, I knew he came in me. I just never like thought nothing. I don't till this day, I don't understand what was going through my mind. I feel like I was very like lost. As a child, I was very lost and confused, and I didn't know what I wanted. And at the time, that was my escape. Like, you know, that was my escape. I don't know. I can't even explain to you guys why I did it. But he tells my mom, you know, you're pregnant. And I'm sitting there looking at her like I deep down I had an idea that that's what he was gonna say, but then again I was kind of like, no, like it can't be, like, you know, I've just had sex, like how can you tell me that I'm already pregnant? Like how can you tell me that? And I guess I didn't understand the whole process of it. But I got off of my period. My birthday's April 2nd. I got off of my period March 25th, March 26th, around there. So whenever I had sex on my birthday, I was ovulating, and I didn't know I was ovulating. I didn't know what that was. I mean, at that time I was in health class, you know, I was barely learning about all of this. So yeah, I ended up pregnant, and my mom started crying. She said, you're gonna have to tell your dad, I can't tell him for you. And I cried because I couldn't tell my dad. I couldn't tell my dad because I knew he was gonna be disappointed, and I knew that it was gonna affect the whole family. So my dad didn't find out until, which fucking sucks as well. We didn't tell my dad that I was pregnant until Father's Day, which was in June. And the reason I did that was because I knew they were gonna make me have an abortion, and I couldn't go through with that. Something told me, this is what you need to change your life around. This is happening to you for a reason. And I prayed about it, and I begged God, you know, let me do what I need to do in order to get through this. And I ended up keeping my baby. As bad as my dad wanted me to have an abortion, and he couldn't confront his family and tell them, you know, my daughter's pregnant, my little girl is pregnant. Like, not even his, you know, well, you know what, at the time my older sister was pregnant as well. My nephew, she was 6 months pregnant whenever I found out I was pregnant. So it was a lot for him. My sister had just turned 18. Yes, my sister had just turned 18. And I was 14, and he couldn't understand what was, you know, he just couldn't wrap his head around it. And especially because it was Father's Day, like I literally saw my dad cry his eyes out and beg me to not keep my baby. And that was the hardest thing I ever had to. It was difficult, okay? It was very fucking difficult because my dad is a very manly man. I have never seen my dad cry. I have never seen my dad emotion. Like, if you know my dad, he always looks mad. Like, he's one of those Mexican men that always looks mad. So it was a very difficult time for our family. I remember it was already the summer of me going into high school. So I went into 9th grade with a little belly, and everyone looked at me, and everyone judged me, and everyone talked their shit, and everyone did what they had to do. As far as my baby daddy goes, we had no contact. My dad didn't let me speak to him. My dad didn't, you know, I was grounded. I would literally sneak out in order to see him or in order to hang out with my friends. I had no type of contact. I remember one of my friends had an extra cell phone, and she would let me use it behind my parents' back so I could talk to her or talk to anyone that I needed to talk to. And it was a really hard time. I mean, I can't believe how far I've got from who I was then and who I am now. When I tell you, I was going the wrong way. I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And I feel like the reason God allowed me to have my daughter is so my life could turn around. My parents now love my daughter. I'm 21 years old. My daughter's 6. You can obviously do the math. And I have my own crib. I have my own car. Well, truck actually. I have my own career. I have my own everything. I am my own person. I am even able to help my parents with, you know, their necessities. And it feels awesome. It feels great to know that I don't depend on anyone. And this is why I encourage so many of you to understand that no matter what you go through in life, you have to stay positive. always stay positive and always look at the brighter picture, because there's so much more to life. There's so much more to life than just guys out here. And we get so caught up with our own issues, with our daddy issues, with our ex issues, that we always rely on a man for happiness. And as women, honestly, you don't need a man. And I don't know how many people have realized that. You know, wait, let me correct myself. Only successful women have realized that you do not need a man. You know, and as harsh as this sounds, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up, because I had to grow the fuck up. My baby daddy hasn't changed from whenever he was 15, 16 years old. He is the same motherfucker from then. And I'm not even trying to talk down on him, because I'm sure my daughter will see this in the future, but she'll know for herself who he is. I don't have to sit here and explain to her what I've done and what he's done, because she'll see with the actions. She'll see and be like, oh, my mom has her own place. Why the fuck is my dad still a bum? Oh, my mom is, you know, doing this, going to work. Why is my dad home every day? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a matter of time and patience, and knowing that God is always going to be there for you and protect you and take care of you. I mean, I could tell you right now, my dad wanted me to have an abortion so bad, and now he loves my daughter so much. You know, that's his life. My mom and me have a very strong relationship. I trust her with my life. She trusts me with her life. It's just a very, something that united me with my family, because like I said, I felt like I was very outside of the family. I wasn't important. I in my little 14-year-old brain, I felt like I wasn't nothing, you know. But yeah, guys, that's my story, and I really want to encourage all of you women who need help to reach out for help. Don't sit at home crying to yourself. Don't sit at home relying on someone else to make you happy. If you need help, go get it. Go get the help that you need, because I know what it feels like to be depressed and to feel lonely and to be empty and to have no emotions and to just be blank inside, you know? It's something that feels so awful. Like, I don't even know how to explain that feeling, and it hurts a lot, because in our generation, so many girls are going through it. So many girls are hurting every day. So many girls are just not happy in the situation that they're in, but you allow yourself to be there. And I just want to remind everyone that we have each other. We need to be united as one, and, you know, take care of each other. And if there's anything any of you out there, you know, need as far as talking to someone, or, you know, just advice, feel free to contact me. My email will be down below if any of you want to email me and talk. I'll definitely give you my phone number. We can text, we can hang out, we can go out on a little date.